Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Fathers United podcast. My name's Nate. I'm the host. Basically, what we do every week is sit down and discuss different subjects that are important to fathers, future fathers, current fathers, 24-hour fathers, 7-day-a-week fathers, weekend fathers, summer dads. Fathers United channel is for you. Just a place where you can feel seen, welcome, appreciated, and can get some information, and the thumbnail probably confused everyone because it just says I'm a single mom, but in reality the subject is why the emphasis on that, right? And what I mean by that is like I have an article that I'll go through. What I mean by that is have you ever noticed, like I noticed this with my daughter's mother, like when she posts on social media, she puts the first and the middle name, right? The last name is obviously mine, but she puts the first and the middle name, and then I kind of noticed that trend with a lot of women who aren't with the father of their child is hashtag, Becky Lee, or hashtag fucking whatever her first name is and her middle name. And I started to wonder, like, why is that? Like, me, and that's clearly nobody refers to anybody by their first and middle name except those people whose middle name is Lynn. Um, and even still, like, that's like something that was happening back in the day. Like my grandma and all her sisters had those kind of names: Ruth Lee, Mary Ann, Jean Ashley, that type of stuff. That's not our child's name, right? So it got me wondering, like, why the emphasis on that? And then I kind of came to my own conclusions, and that's basically what we're going to talk about. This isn't me taking the time to bash them in any way or nothing like that. It's more so just trying to understand why, right? Like, why do you feel the need to push me out to big up yourself? Because that's what it seems. That's what it feels like to me, right? Like, um, oh, I'm a single mom. There's a difference between being a single mom and being a single mom. You know what I'm saying? Me and you not being together, but I'm still in my child's life. I still do everything that I'm supposed to do. Does not make you a single mom in that sense. You are a mother who is single because you guys aren't together. But being a single parent means there is no backup. You cannot call this individual. You cannot any of these things, right? When you look at it, it's like, okay, you have the men over here. There's single fathers out there, but you hardly ever notice, and they're not online doing the whole, I'm a single dad and happy Mother's Day to me, and all that type of stuff. They don't do that. But so why do men not do it, but women do? So maybe I figured, because I only came up with a control thing. As when I thought about it, it's like, I don't have his last name. You got his last name. Fuck him and his last name. That's how I see it. I could be wrong. So I decided to try and look into the things that single mothers go through or have to deal with, and see if through that maybe I can and we can come to a conclusion as to, why they feel the need to do that. Completely forgot. Before we get into it, we got to do the father of the week. So this week I have a dad who did something cool for his kids during the quarantine. You all remember that when the government made us sit in our houses and all that for a year. Um, my dad turned our house into a giant board game. Staying home in quarantine due to the novel coronavirus pandemic was important for the Nuame family health, but it was also incredibly boring, especially for 8-year-old Azura. So her father, Lou, suggested they play a board game. This wasn't going to be an ordinary game of Candyland or Clue. He decided to turn the entire first floor of their home into a giant modular life-sized board game. Quote, we can take it apart and put it together in so many ways, Azura says. I get to help decide which spaces do what actions, and then my dad and I race to see who wins. I love it when I beat him. My mom is the ref. This game, along with other handmade activities Lou makes exclusively out of cardboard, helps her stay healthy and entertained during the quarantine. But these games serve another purpose, helping Azura feel in control of part of her life, making the pandemic and other scary news feel less frightening and overwhelming. Quote, I grew up as a depressed child and teen, and I want to make sure that doesn't happen to Azura, Lou says, adding that the game gives the second grader a chance to talk about her feelings and concerns. It all seems to be working. Quote, it's so fun. I love that I get to play with my dad all day, she says. So, this was a while ago now, because the pandemic was like several years ago now, but Lou Nuame, you are the Fathers United Dad of the Week. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good job, man. But it definitely looks something cool that you could do with your child. So the subject at hand. This article, I haven't read it yet. I just picked it because of the name. Might bite me in the ass. Who knows? Updated December 4th, 2019. So it's from a while ago. 11 common single mom problems and how to get by. So we're not going to focus so much on the how to get by. We are looking for the problems in general and how we can and what we can derive from them to help explain why they feel the need to emphasize it and to disclude us, even if we are there. Parenting is hard work, especially when you have to go it alone. Single mothers are a fast growing segment of the population as societal norms and family values shift. I, for one, don't really care how you feel about it. I don't agree with any of that. And by that, I mean I don't agree with the shift in family values or societal norms. There should be norms, there should be values. Um, Great nations are built on strong communities. Strong communities are built on strong neighborhoods, and strong neighborhoods are built on strong families. So, well, cities, communities, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. And I think it's weird that this attack on just a normal family, two parents in a household with the children. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. And the way it's kind of like, do you leave her, leave him, like you could do better, milk him. No, dude. Sacrifices must be made to reach greatness. And I think the rearing of the next generation, like rearing a successful next generation, is the greatest good that we can sacrifice for. I'm going to die one day, right? I want my children to be able to do something within the world. There are many issues commonly faced by single mothers that are unique to their circumstances. Legal issues. Women become single mothers for a variety of reasons: widow, divorce, unplanned pregnancy, unwilling father, breakup. Widowed, divorced, unplanned pregnancy, unwilling father, breakup. Any of these situations can bring up legal factors such as custody, child support, residency restrictions, and estate planning. Consequently, the single mother may find herself in the courtroom handling one of these situations. Court proceedings for these common issues can occur across the span of months and even years, as courts are stuffed with cases. Depending upon your financial situation before and after becoming a single parent, the fees associated with these legal proceedings may be your responsibility. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the same for fathers and mothers. And then I'll go out on a limb here and say, they usually get the one up in the court anyway. So, like in my immediate surroundings with everybody that's around me, you have to be. I've seen the court give drug addict mothers custody over a dad because, women. It's a thing where, like, I guess the child is supposed to be with the mother. I don't understand it enough to really break it down. I am going to do an episode about child support and like really talk about like, well, who's benefiting from this? Where's the money going? What's going on? Follow the trail, because that's usually where the truth is. But at this point, I don't have the information on there to really speak on it. But I don't see how a court situation would lead to what we're discussing in this video. So we're going to keep going. Custody and living arrangements. Depending on the involvement of the father, single mothers may find themselves having to deal with custody issues. The ability to physically uphold and emotionally cope with court decisions regarding custody can be stressful for single mothers. Transportation and visitation schedules can be difficult to manage, especially if the father is rigid in his requests or lives far away from you. The biggest concern for moms sharing custody or visitation for their children include how the child feels at drop off and pickup, fear of the unknown, what is happening at the other home, fear of being replaced by another partner in the father's life, fear of the child choosing to live with the other parent, behavioral issues from the child. Again, all concerns that, fathers have. That's not an exclusive thing, especially fear of being replaced by another in the partner's life. The drop-off pickup thing, I say that's probably more moms. The home life for the woman would have to be really sideways, I would say, for me to be worried about that. And then I probably just wouldn't take my child back, honestly. Like, you're not getting my child. You're not getting little, because you ain't got it going on right there. You ain't got it going on over there like that. So that's not happening. Child support. Child support is money paid to the custodial parent by the non-custodial parent to help cover the costs of living for the child. Enforcement of child support collection can only take place if the support agreement is made through the court system. Each state has a set of rules regarding how child support is determined. A child support calculator can help you understand the process and get an idea of the amount you may be owed. Child support determinations and requests can be stressful to manage for a number of reasons. Real costs specific to only the child can be difficult to determine. Unpaid support can be punishable by jail time. If one parent feels the amount is unfair, it could cause tension and arguments. Some parents choose to take all child support payments and place them into a bank account in the child's name for use as an adult. The other parents need this weekly or monthly income supplement to help with daily living costs like food and housing. Whatever your needs, keep in mind child support is meant to cover the cost of living for your child. If you use it only as such, there should be little cause for complaint from the other parent. Big thing. A lot of people don't pay their child support. A lot of people, but I've heard. So she told me about her significant other. He has a lot of baby mamas, and he works under the table jobs so that child support can never get him because on paper he has no money. Yeah, definite deadbeat stuff. It's not too often that men. I've only heard of what Holly Berry and somebody else of like dudes getting child support from the woman. Britney Spears. I think Kevin Federline got. I think Kevin Federline got child support too. I will say this because I'm gonna take an episode and get into child support and everything like that. If it's used for what the child needs, I don't see a problem with it. My only thing is when I talk to them, those same costs that you have, I have, right? So yes, if it's like my situation. My children are with me on the weekend, and then in the summer when school is out, they're with me during the week and with their mothers on the weekend. So in that instance, it's a shorter time, but I still have to have food over there for him. I still have to have clothes over here for them. I still have to have gas to come pick them up. I still have to have all of these various things. So we need a middle ground and, a sliding scale of sorts because this is the same issue I'm having. And I told them all the same thing. You'll get more from me if you come and talk to me. I don't want the court. I don't need some fucking assholes who don't know me, don't know you, don't know our child, assuming they know what's best based upon flimsy conversations we're having because we're angry at each other. Talk to me. I'll give you what you need. I'll make it happen. Child support is for deadbeats. I am not that. That was my conversation. Not in those words, but I can see how not for truly single mothers, I can see how not having any child support would give you a reason or would make you feel like emphasizing on single motherhood. I can see that because the financial strain of a child being split between two parents is tough. So without it, I can only imagine how tough that is. Co-parenting concerns. Although children typically live with one parent the majority of the time, healthy co parenting still needs to take place. Co parenting with a person you no longer live with can be challenging, especially as you redefine your relationship. Communication. Co parenting does not mean you have to be best friends with your child's father. Ladies and gentlemen, let me read this again for you. Co parenting does not mean you have to be best friends with your child's father or mother. Okay? Okay, I am not best friends with my children's mothers. Okay, not at all. We're cool. We're great. We're not enemies, but communication is key, and we co-parent well because of this communication. For the most part, I take a lot of L's. I will say that as a man. I can't speak on the L's that they take. If they take them, I don't know. We talk in as much as is necessary. But what I can say is that there will be times where I want to say things, I want to argue about things or whatever. I want this and that. But I I think of it in a long term, like, okay, that's not going to work. We're going to fight if this happens. I'm just trying to get my son or, whatever. Let me just take this L right now. Co-parenting does not mean you have to be best friends with your child's father. It does not mean you have to like him. What it does mean is you are both committed to discussing important events and issues regarding your child and trying to agree on a unified approach. While it may not be possible in all situations, there are a few key points to remember when communicating with your child's father. Now, men listening to this, replace father with mother, go forward. Keep each other informed of important extracurricular activities and events. Stay positive and cordial when speaking in front of your child. Stay positive and cordial when speaking in front of your child. Save difficult discussions for a time when you can speak alone. Live by the golden rule. Treat your child's father as you wish to be treated. These are perfect keys for communication because I use them all. So, co-parenting is an issue for both male and female, so I don't see how this could lead to the, main subject of this video. Role of romantic partners. At some point, you or your child's father may decide to enter into a new romantic relationship. Preparing yourself emotionally for this occasion can take time. It can be difficult. It can be helpful to discuss expectations about when your child should be introduced to a parent's new romantic partner and what role the person should take on before any relationships start. I agree with that 194%. That's a conversation that me and my daughter's mom had up front. Keep them away. I got to meet, not just me, but like the both of us both agree. Like I have to meet the significant other beforehand. Don't really bring it to me if it ain't 3 months at least. Because we in our 30s now, so flings come and go. Don't bring no fling around me. Do what you do and do whatever you need to, but when it gets serious, I want to meet this individual before they're around my child. Financial security. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, single mothers have the lowest median income of any family type, although the median income is above the poverty guidelines for the United States. It is clear many single mothers are in financial distress. Financial concerns include ability to pay for quality child care, providing adequate nutrition at home, costs of clothing, ability to pay for extracurricular activities, saving for the emergencies and the future. Living on a single income can be challenging for any family. Single mothers often face the additional challenge of being the primary parent and breadwinner of the household. Balancing home life and work life can be difficult and stressful for single moms. Fortunately, there are many programs available through local and federal social services to provide resources to single mothers. Fact, nowhere near as many for men. Help is available. They do exist, though. They do exist. Help is available for everything from groceries to home buying. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services offers explanations of available programs and directories to find help in your area. So I would say men and women, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, go there to find these resources because these are problems we all face. Not even just single parents right now. I live in California, so All of us are struggling for the ability to pay for great health care, providing adequate nutrition at home, cost of clothing, ability for extra career, saving for the future. Shit is expensive, okay? And everybody is struggling. I can see how that would, if you're truly single, single, I can see how that would lead to you, that attitude of like, fuck them, single mom, gang. I can see that because if you pulling that off, you doing a damn thing. Single people, single father, single mother, that air of superiority because you're doing it is well deserved. So salute to you, single parents. Providing stability. A key point to remember is what your children need most is love and security. I can see how those stigmas would affect and make a woman think and act that way, though, as far as the original subject of this video. So, okay, I can see that one. Guilt. Single mothers often struggle with feeling guilty. Some of the most common things moms feel guilty about include taking away the experience of a family with both parents in the same household, working too much, missing out on experiences that happen during visitation with the other parent, dating, change in income level and lifestyle, the emotions children experience when dealing with separated parents or uninvolved parents. As human beings, every person is entitled to feel emotions, both good and bad. Guilt in small doses is a sign of your love and can push you to be a better person. However, too much guilt can cause you to isolate, lose yourself, and make poor decisions. If you are feeling overwhelmed by guilt, consider speaking with a professional counselor. This is all stuff we deal with. I regularly feel upset because the experience of both parents in the home was taken from me. I work too much. I miss out on experiences. I get pictures, but I'm at work or I'm out and, she's with her other significant other and sending me pictures of my child and, don't really get to date. Yeah, that's not an exclusive thing. That's kind of everybody, especially if you're in my situation and got left. So it's kind of even worse. Kind of get through this a little bit. Common single mother dating problems. Will anyone want to date a mom and woman with kids? How will I make time for a new relationship? When do I introduce my kids to a potential mate? What if my kids don't like the person I'm dating? How will my children's father react to my dating life? Stressful things I can agree with. So then we have self-care, sleep problems, stress management, and where to find support. So now maybe, this subject which requires a bit more research because this article didn't help very much. So maybe I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this video to really try to dig in. But so far, I think my assessment is that in the past, women didn't have very many rights. And then, as time progressed, they got more rights and more freedoms and, they were bartering ships and all that. And now there's more freedoms, but the norm, like they said, the societal stigmas are still there, Back in the day, if a woman wasn't wed with children, she had a hard time in life. I think one episode of King of the Hill talked about that. Cotton Hill had got, I think it was in, what war was Cotton Hill in? I don't even remember right now. I think it was World War II or one. No, it was two. And he was fighting the Japanese, and he had got a Japanese woman pregnant, and he ended up meeting her again years later, finding out he had a child, and that he didn't know about. The army had sent him back to the U.S. It's 1940 something. He has no way of communicating. So when he's old, he meets her again, finds out he has a child, and when he asks her, how has life been for you all these years, because it's been almost 40 years, she's like, well, I had the best. She basically was like, well, I had the best life that a unwed single mother in ancient, an unwed single mother in Japan could have. I met a man who would tolerate such a stain. That's what she said. That's how it was. So with that in mind, I can see how someone would be like, I've overcome all this stuff. So fuck that last name. That's his last name. He ain't doing nothing over here. This is me. So I'm this and this. So she's going to be, or he's gonna be first name, middle name, because our last names ain't the same, so we ain't accepting that, right? So maybe societal norms and stigmas have something to do with it. Struggles. We're gonna have to do some more research on this, though. We're gonna definitely have to do some more research on this. So, Mom, probably be back with a part two of this. I might actually sit down and really dig into this instead of just winging it. Not winging it, but going through the article like I did, because this article didn't provide very much context in the way that I needed. Should have picked off more than the title. Either way, hopefully this at least starts the thought of this conversation in the minds of you and others, because I don't know, maybe I'm not the only one that's curious about that. Like, why is that a thing? Does it need to be a thing? So I do not have a horror story this week. Yeah, I'm trying to get back on I'm trying to get back on the train. I fell off the train. I'm running. I'm catching up now, but I'm gonna keep trying to keep this content coming. So thank you. Like, subscribe, follow for more father-related content. And on the next episode, we will be talking about how becoming a father changes the testosterone in men. Should be an interesting subject.